So when you're on your meeting platform in Zoom, either you choose to schedule a meeting or a webinar, and that's how you start. Where we're just going to do a meeting and then a quick meeting here. So I'm going to say schedule a new meeting. I'm going to call it my meeting, and I am going to say it's going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's only going to be for a few minutes for this demonstration. It's not reoccurring, etc., etc. And now what you want to do is you actually have to enable the language interpretation. In this case, I am going to, we're just going to, for this demonstration purposes, we are going to choose French, and I am going to enter, I'm going to assign myself as as one of the interpreters and save. If I was going to assign another interpreter, because if your meeting is more than 1 hour, then you do need 2 interpreters. Of course, you can always edit the meeting, as you know, and you would just assign another interpreter here just by clicking add an interpreter, and then that would be it. But we're going to be here. Now, when you add, by adding and activating the interpreter, add an interpreter function, it sends an email to that person. So it sent it to right here, to me, and that I've been invited to be the interpreter for this meeting. When you go, the interpreter would receive an email here saying that I've been invited to be the interpreter, and when it's time to go on meeting, obviously the interpreter would just click on join the meeting. It would prompt you to obviously to download Zoom. It's going to be on the corner and right there, and then you would obviously, as the interpreter, click on the file and yes, and download it, and we're going to keep it because it is safe. And the ones that is we're gonna just run it if this is the first time you're using it, and then a window will pop up saying that your meeting will begin soon. Once that is done, perfect. And now obviously you say yes. Once that is done, you you'll probably see, you're going to see first a window saying that you'll be connected once your host has started the meeting. It does say to test your audio, and this you'll begin doing this. We'll have, but for the purpose, and that's the interpreter, for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to bypass this the whole testing procedure. You're supposed to do it obviously on your own when you're doing it yourself. So as you can see, the interpreter will say please wait for the host to start the meeting, and we're going to start the meeting just so that you can see the platform. So now I'm going to start the meeting, and I'm just going to obviously open Zoom because I already have it. Meetings can, as you know, can be scheduled from either the app on your, I'm gonna say that. Now it starts recording automatically, so you will have to, as you can see down here, have to my screen a little bit bigger for you. You will have to unmute yourself, and so that you can start speaking and people can hear you. Now, as the host, you have to, as you can see, because you enable the interpretation, you see this little icon here that says interpretation. As you can see, if you can, I'm gonna try and zoom in for you. And you have to, as the host, go and activate it. So you can start it, but as you can see, the interpreter over there has not joined. So I will go and join on my other thing and say that I'm joining the meeting. So I'm joining the meeting, and you will see. Now I also have, so I'm going to start it here, but as you can see, the interpreter has joined the meeting over here. So we're going to admit them. And this would be as you would normally do, but I am going to start the interpretation. So as now you can see, the window has popped up and saying that English and French interpretation is available, meaning that your participants, you can now, you want your audio in English, and this is how you're going to be hearing it. Your interpreter will choose this for French, and so will your participants. You have to activate this part in order for your participants to be able to choose. And the way they choose is they see something like on the interpreter's screen, which we'll move to now already, that there is again English and French interpretation available, and that's on the other screen. Okay, so also during the meeting, you can also add another interpreter on the fly. Say that somebody came in and you really needed a colleague to interpret for you. You can add it here, and if they're on the meeting, on your call, they'll be notified that they've been assigned as an interpreter, and they will see this function, and they can go on their end and they can start doing that, interpreting for it. So what I wanted to mention, even though there's all these languages here, you would think that you would be able to use all these languages and multiple interpreters at the same time. When we tested it, it did not work. When, for example, there was a Spanish speaker, and the French would not be able to be interpreting at the same time because they were talking both at the same time. So this means that the relay function right now at the moment with Zoom has not been activated or perfected at this, and you can't use it. It does use it. It is great for one language at a time, and that's what it should be used for. One thing that I wanted to mention for hosts, if when you're in your interpretation here and you have the function in order to be able to so you see this part, once you can't really share your screen. If you go and share your screen, you lose that button. If you want to go and check in as the host and how things are doing, and I'm going to show you there, you can go actually into the French and you'll be listening into the French. So if you are want to check and see how the interpreters are doing and how the French line is going, and if everybody can hear, you can go into that. Otherwise, then you stay on your English. When you are ready to leave the meeting and everything is finished, you go into Manage Interpretation Services, and you are going to end the meeting. Once you end the meeting, as you can see, the interpreter screen no longer has the language button, and this is very important that for the interpreter and your participants, in order to hear the interpretation, have to have that. So I can go and demonstrate, have to have the language button there, and that is the host that controls it.